Hi and welcome to my office. Now I've had a request from one of my viewers wanting some help in choosing a camera so he could film wildlife, and obviously he's very new to all of this, so it's very confusing. So I thought I'd help him out and all of the rest of his as well. Now, even for us that have been filming wildlife for years, it's still bloody hard to choose a camera to suit your needs. So the main thing is that he wanted to know why I choose a camcorder over DSLRs, mirrorless cameras and cinema cameras. We'll talk about the reasons why by splitting it up a little bit. There's the technical side of it, but there's also that personal choice, the things that I'm going to film and why I would need something over something else. Let's start with DSLRs and mirrorless cameras as well. This day and age, technology's changed them quite a lot. More and more they're being used for B-roll and a camera as well for big production films. And they're well suited for that. And why they're well suited for that is they have big sensors, shallow depth of field, and that's what they want. They want to be able to zoom in tight on someone and have the background blurred out so that the subject stands out from the background and you're not distracted by the background. Pretty much it, but you can be arty with all that as well, especially with focus transitions. Transitioning from one thing to another, but having each one blurred out while the main subject at the time is in perfect focus. Very easy to do with a big sensor. So that's why you would use that for more arty effects. Trying to get a good depth of field on your DSLRs, your cinema cameras, is really hard to achieve. You need a wide-angled lens that will give you that effect, but you have to be right up in the face of your subject, 1.5 meters away at the most, to get good depth of field. So why is depth of field important for filming wildlife? Birds, animals, they all move. They never sit still, especially my subject, the agile antechinus, small carnivorous marsupial. I have a bit of a scene set up, like I have here. I put a little bit of honey out to draw the animal out, so I can film it in the environment that I want it to be in. So it comes up, it's getting the honey, it's constantly moving. It's wary of its environment, it's hearing things, so it's turning its head, it's looking around, going in and out of focus. I have to manually focus because you can't trust autofocus. It'll generally always eventually go to the background. Because I'm focused on a particular point, if my animal turns its head, it's going to be severely out of focus. With DSLRs, cinema cameras, we're talking millimeters. It's noticeable that it's out of focus. With a smaller sensor, a camcorder, you don't get that. It gives you leeway. So we have really good depth of field. Animals moving a little bit. It's not a worry to me because I know that I'm still getting a reasonable amount of depth of field. So it's not noticeable. That's one of the biggest reasons why I use a camcorder. Now camcorders generally have smaller sensors. 1-inch sensor on the modern day cameras that we're starting to get now, and it's what I'm filming myself with right now, the XF400. It gives you the best of both worlds. It gives you enough depth of field for my little carnivorous marsupial, but it's also got 1 foot over into that nice blurred effect, so I can do good focus transitions from one thing to the other, get arty, but I still have that good depth of field as well. To be able to film wildlife properly and cover everything, you need a wide-angled lens and you need a zoom lens. So that's 2 lenses. Camcorder, don't have that worry. It's all fixed in and it's properly married up with a sensor, so they work together perfectly. Very appealing to me that I'm ready for action. When it happens in front of me, I have the right lens on. I'm not worrying about lenses. With a DSLR cinema camera, that's a fact. If I have the wrong lens on, I'm going to miss out on some beautiful bit of action that'll never happen again. Bird sees an animal on the ground, goes down to attack it, to eat it. These things happen in split seconds. Have I got the right lens on? If I haven't, on my DSLR cinema camera, I'm going to miss out. Having to take my backpack off, change the lens, all makes movements, makes noises, and it's time. It all takes time. So being prepared, it's going to be awkward. You walk around with a zoom lens on, you come across something that you need that wide angled for. A moment where 2 big animals are fighting and you can't get them in with a zoom lens. Same thing again. You've got split seconds to do this. The action ain't going to wait for you while you change lenses. Making noises, disturbing them, big factor in why I choose camcorders. Factor in that you've got to buy lenses, the price starts to blow out quite considerably, doesn't it? To be able to do wildlife properly, you need a good wide-angled lens, probably with just a slight zoom. A lot of choices these days. L lenses with 18 to 70mm, something like that, 24 to 100. There's lots of choices there. But you're looking at anywhere from 1,500 to a bit over $2,000. We also have our zoom lenses now. You could either have a fixed length, 400, 500, 600. So that's 2 lenses that we have to buy and on top of our camera body. We're also adding a shitload of weight onto our backpack. Now for me personally, I'm out in my reserve every night. I have a backpack, I carry everything with me all the time, and I go on 2-3 day hikes every now and then. Weight is an issue. Keeping things lightweight. Let's talk about audio. DSLRs, we don't get the benefits of much higher end shotgun microphones, any of the other microphones, because most of them require an XL connection. With the DSLR you get the 3.5mm jack, which limits you for what you can buy for them. So there's another factor with camcorders, they give you that. And now we're starting to see with the newer camcorders, they give you both. So you can leave your microphone on with your 3.5 jack. Flexibility. Camcorders are so flexible. DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, you're losing out on a little bit of flexibility there. Infrared, so that I can continue filming and studying animals in nesting boxes that I've built, watching building nests and bringing up their young, all those sort of things. Well, I've covered a few things, and I guess you can see by now why I'm sort of lean towards camcorders. Shallow depth of field, having the background blurred out isn't appealing to me at all. I want as much in focus as possible in the background. I want to show you the environment that the animal lives in, even though I'm zoomed in. Now, you can get shallow depth of field if you zoom right up to the subject, so it's more of it in the frame. The background will blur out a bit. But I don't do that, that's not what I want. I pull back a bit, I want to show you the animal going about its business in its environment. Much more appealing for me. Having to change lenses is bloody horrible. I've been there, I've done all that. So what I've learnt about making the choice for a camera has all come from learning in the field. When the digital era came of age, and for me that was marked by the 5D Mark II coming out on the market, I jumped in and I bought one straight away. I wanted to fulfill that dream of making wildlife documentaries and photographing birds and animals, getting those fantastic action shots. It's extremely important to me, and finally I can achieve that, much more than I ever could with film cameras. So I bought the 5D, came out here, started photographing birds, nesting, animals going about their business in the reserve. It wasn't until I came across the Agile Antechinus that I decided I wanted to start filming. It just captivated me so much right from the start. I wanted to know every bit of detail about this animal, and I wanted to capture it on film, document its life. So I started filming with the 5D Mark II. Frustrated me no end. Shallow depth of field, trying to keep it in focus, because these things move at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It is so hard to try and keep them in focus, especially when you didn't have any tools to go with it as well, like focus peaking or anything like that. Extremely difficult. So learning of using a DSLR in the field, I worked out exactly what I really needed in the camera. Being able to set up a camera and start filming at a moment's notice is extremely important as well. Doing that with a DSLR was just so frustrating. I missed out on so much, some fantastic things that I have not seen since. Birds fighting, all sorts of things like that. So having a good routine with a camcorder, you have it on your shoulder on a tripod, ready for action. All you have to do is drop the legs on the tripod, turn the camera on, take the cap off, start the camera rolling, and then zoom in on your subject, frame it properly, and you're going. So when I choose a camcorder, it has to have those things. It has to be extremely versatile, as lightweight as possible, have good autofocus when I need it so that I can talk to the camera, so that gives me versatility for into the future, be future-proofed. Having good high dynamic range so my skin doesn't blow out is really essential for where I'm at the minute. And if you go to my reviews on my cameras, I'll talk about that in more detail. So you can go and check them out once we're finished. Having infrared is extremely important to me. It means that I can build nesting boxes, film animals going about their business, studying and learning more about them. Having a camera that's versatile with having a wide lens, 25mm, most of them are these days, and being able to zoom in a fair way is important, because you need to stay back from your subjects, but occasionally you need to zoom out wide so you can capture more of the scene of things happening. These are all how I make choices about my camera, and it's how you should have a look at how you choose your camera. Learning about photography more, experiencing, getting out there and experiencing, filming wildlife, that's where you're going to start to see what you really need. So DSLR might be alright to start with. You might not like the image like me. You may love the image. It does come down to learning and what you're going to do with it. What are you going to film with it? Those are the things to consider. So what I've been doing over the years, why I've been filming, photographing wildlife for over 10 years now, I've come to realise that I can fulfil a dream, and that is making documentaries on wildlife. Whether that really goes anywhere or not is not in the picture at the minute. I'm on a mission to make a documentary on my passion, the agile antechinus. I solidly filmed that for close to 10 years now. I have a huge library of videos of their whole life cycle. Also with birds nesting from start to finish in this reserve, so I've got a huge story to share with the world. So the documentary that I'm building with these cameras that I've bought over the years have all helped me out to achieve a 3-part documentary. The agile antechinus, birds nesting, animals that are in the park, how they interact with each other, and the flora as well. I've got most of that footage now, and you find as you grow and go along with your filming that your needs change. I've gone from my first camera, the XF300, full HD, to now going to the Panasonic, which gave me Ultra HD. And every time I buy a camera, I'm always looking at, hopefully, that I don't have to buy another one, it'll carry me into the future. But unfortunately, they just don't. The perfect camera just does not exist yet. It still doesn't. The XF705 is a hell of a lot closer, and it's an option for me into the future. Can't afford it now, and it's not even out in Australia anyway just yet. But it's there, it's something to really look at. I bought the XF400 because it has really good high dynamic range mode. The other cameras that I've had haven't been really good for filming me. My skin blows out very easy because of the lack of dynamic range, and also face detection is paramount for filming myself. I'll be in and out in the documentary, just a little bit of me speaking to the camera, so I need to interact with my environment, and the focusing needs to stay on me. So that's what I'm at the minute. I've got a long way to go with my documentary. It's an apprenticeship. I study everything that comes on the market, DSLR, whatever it is, cinema cameras, camcorders. I study them in great detail. If I'm interested in them, I wait until the manual comes onto the market, the owner's manual. I can study it in more detail and say yes or no. For your first camera, think about what you're going to film. Think about the conditions that you're going to film in. Make a choice on that. Are you going to be doing long hikes, or coming out like I do every day into this reserve, walking around through thick scrub with a backpack on, a camera on your shoulder, stuck to a tripod? So you have to think about that. What would be more versatile for you and your needs, the subject that you're filming? Do you need lots of depth of field? Does it move around a lot? Or is it a bigger animal that you're interested in, that maybe a DSLR or something like that might suit you better? Hope I helped you out there, trapped like a rat. That's all I've got for you today. And just remember to go and click on that subscription button down below, and you'll get notification if I do anything else. And if you'd like to go and have a look at my channel, there's over 80 videos there now. Man, I've been whacking them out lately. So click on my icon down below, take it to my channel. I've done everything, talking about things like this, talking about camera stuff, camera accessories, tips on photographing birds and animals, birds in flight, and flash photography in a forest environment, all stuff like that. So go and have a browse, must be something there of interest to you. And just remember, if you don't do, you don't get. So get out there and start photographing and filming wildlife. See ya. Change the lenses all the time. Nearly stabbed by a piece of bark. Bit dangerous out in the forest. Camcorder ain't going to help me there.